as promised, I am back with my girlfriend, Shonna Jordan, and I'm so excited to have you on the show. We've known each other for years. We go way back. And as I explained, in the intro, Shonna, you're an amazing marketing wizard. So let's talk about the journey of how did you learn all this stuff? How did you get so good?
Okay. Well, I started in college, got a degree, marketing communications, and then
Mm.
got a job in corporate. And then as I'm in corporate, I'm expanding like what I want to do. And I started to get bored marketing the same company over and over and over and over again, trying to find, new ways, new approaches, new, channels to work on that. And, we're talking years ago before social media. I'm just saying. So after that, I talked with the CFO there, and she's like, I'm about ready to bounce. She's like, can you help me with brand development? And I'm like, absolutely. So she ended up being like my first side hustle. And then as time went on, 9/11 happened. And then I ended up, a week before Christmas in 2001, I got laid off, and the company decided they couldn't survive. So I started Jordan Marketing. And
Yay.
yes, exactly. And I thought I'm going to bring this polished, corporate look and strategies and that to the small business owner and entrepreneur. And that's what I built it on. I wanted to help entrepreneurs and business owners. Well, entrepreneurs sometimes become business owners, and then, you know what I mean? Bring that strategy to them. So
I think that's crazy that your CFO asked you to brand her. She knew you're so good at branding.
yes,
You got your first gig without even trying.
exactly. It was amazing. Yeah. And then I had, as I started my business, I had one client, because once brand development is done, it's done,
Right,
and then they take
right.
it and run with it, and just, they'll come, people come back, if they want to talk about marketing strategies or materials development or that kind of thing. But, for the most part, once the brand development is done, if you know what you're doing, go for it. You know what I mean?
Right,
Um,
right.
yeah. So then I had one client in, at the beginning of 2002, and been doing it ever since.
Yeah. Now, then when did you start good? So you started Good Old Gals. This is how I met you. What do we
Right.
have? 18
Right.
years ago.
Yes.
Um,
18.
did you start GOG to tell me about the origination of GOG and how that happened?
Sure. So Good Old Gals, is our answer to the Good Old Boys Network. And how that came to be was I was out there doing what I was telling my clients to do. Network, network, network. Grassroots marketing works. You know that. Meet people, build relationships, business follows.
Mhm.
So I, was with a group, a business to business group, and, the leader of that group said, hey, I think I want to start shifting. And so myself and three other women, including that leader, got together and started, not bitching, but we were a little complaining about what was available to us. And one was even the leader of a group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was like, I'm not happy with this. I want to network with women. I want to support women. And so we kind of confab that day back in, late '07. And then, we had the first meeting December 7th of '07. And I'll never forget 707, right? So then there was some, I didn't know, because there were some things that we had talked about, about exclusivity. And I was still growing my business. I was only not even 6 years, right
Mhm.
around 5.5 years into my business. And I was still in that growth phase,
Yeah.
having made it past that mark, that
Yeah.
2 year and then the 5 year mark for new
Mhm.
businesses. I'm like, I don't want to be competing. And they were saying they wanted to be inclusive.
Mhm.
And, I'm like, I gotta sit on that. Well, I showed up to that first meeting December 7th, and then, my business partner, who had become my business partner, said, well, I'm going to get rolling with this. You think about it. And so then I went, you know what? get your big girl panties on. We're here to collaborate, not compete. We're here to lift each other up and support each other. So we partnered, and then I ended up taking it over. Unfortunately, she passed away, but she had already handed it over to me. We had already done all the conversion and everything. So that got started because we were challenged to find something that was fun, that broke the mold, because the mold out there was, Kathi, the mold out there
was sad.
It was very dismal. It was dismal.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. So, and here we are, it's a fantastic networking group. I know that there's going to be, there are franchises, other places here in San Diego. We have 2 chapters. There's more chapters to come, but it's called the Good Old Gals Network. And it's fantastic because, like you said, it's inclusive, that, you can have other organizers. I don't care, because guess what? We all do different things, and
we overlap.
And we overlap, and we can share when we have abundance, and we can ask when we have needs. So I love the women's collaboration idea. And I think you're really a front runner. Now there's a lot of women's networking, but there's still nothing as good as Good Old Gals, in my opinion.
That is true. That I have seen other organizations kind of pop up. One of the things that, nobody can duplicate GOX. It's that, they can make it fun. They can try, do that, which is great. They can, do socials, and, they can do all of that, like embrace it. But we really, with me at the helm, providing all of the graphics, the attention to detail, just the outreach, the way we communicate with women. I like to say, we have fun and business gets done,
Yeah. And that's the truth of it. And you folks listening do not know Shonna, but Shonna is a powerhouse, and she's so extremely organized and so detail oriented that every single meeting is completely orchestrated. You wouldn't even know it, because you're just having fun and eating lunch and rocking and rolling, and you have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. But it's very well structured, which I very much appreciate, being a professional organizer. Love that. Although it doesn't feel like it, so I think it doesn't feel like that. So
if it went away, Kathi, I was talking to another girlfriend earlier, and I'm like, if I took all the attention to detail away, people would be like, what's going on? Because it's there. We have themes, we do all of that. It's there. And so you just kind of like anticipate that, like you have this excitement, and sometimes you don't see that, this color matches that color, and that the front of the room is on point, like on theme. A lot of people don't necessarily see that until it would be gone, and then they're like, oh, that makes a difference. So we're still up leveling too, Kathi. We got a new thing we're doing this month to kick off the new year. So we'll see. Fingers crossed that it works, because I really want to provide an event experience, not the same old networking meeting. It's more of an event, and it's an experience. So that's my goal. Yeah.
Well, you're already doing that. So up leveling is just going to be, I'm like, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So I know what your unique gifts are to the world, but what would you consider as your dharma? Like, what's the unique thing that you bring to the world, do you feel?
Well, interestingly, we just talked about one of the things, and that is my unparalleled attention to detail. Yeah. It's literally, someone that's on my leadership team actually called it layered. Like the attention to detail is absolutely layered. So that's one thing. And then, obviously I'm creative, but the cool thing is with my, a lot of people ask me why my marketing agency is Jordan and Jordan. Is there another Jordan? I'm like, no.
It's you.
It's me. It's my right brain and my left brain. So that's one of the huge, unique gifts that I bring, because I can, come up with a logical process to facilitate a recall for your product, and then create the materials and the site and all of the things that have to go with that, or brand you, and then talk about strategies and what you're saying. So it's that it's that twofold thing.
Yeah, which is very helpful for anybody who's thinking, oh, I don't even know what my identity is. I don't know what my brand is. I don't really like my colors. Someone made it for me. And, you're the person to call on to kind of put that whole package together.
100%.
For sure. Yeah. So if someone was starting out a business and they were given some identity and they're not really resonating with it, what type of advice would you give them, or where would they start?
Well, I mean, first of all, one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people starting out make is that they do not check all the different places where they just named their business. So make sure that you have the .com, not a .net. If you can't get the .com, I really highly recommend moving it. Check the U.S. Patent and Trade Organization. Is it a federally registered trademark? Then also check with your local county fictitious business name. Is it available there? So all of that from a naming standpoint, that's the biggest mistake. But if all of that fits, right, and everything fits and they have this identity and they're just not happy with it, I would like to, I would approach it from why. Why are you not happy with this? And then we can just do a brand refresh. Maybe we keep depending on how long they've been in business.
Right.
If they've been established for 2 or more years with that brand, then the refresh would just be a little bit of a facelift. If they've only been in business for 6 months or less than a year, then I would say, let's just redo it, so that you're happy. I like to talk about, and you probably will appreciate this analogy, like your brand is like your favorite sweater. And you wear your favorite sweater all the time, or your favorite jacket all the time. And if you're not happy with it, if it's not your favorite, you are not going to feel good about yourself, and you're not going to feel good about approaching or introducing your business to your ideal client.
Yeah. Spot on.
Yeah.
What I'm always amazed at about you is how you come up with these one-liners for people and their business. You've got the one-liner catchy thing, and I can tell when someone's been Shonna Jordan when they stand up in the networking group. I'm like, that sounds like Shonna. I don't know how you do it, but you do amazing, introductory.
Yeah, just unique gift. Seriously, I get these immediate downloads, and once I talk, I have to talk to the person and hear them talk and ask them what their clients say. Then I go, what about this? And it just happens. Yeah. So, and it happens. It doesn't take too long for it to start happening, which I'm very blessed. You know what I mean? I'm blessed to have that gift.
Yeah. Yeah. To be able to listen to it and to be able to hear it at the same time. That's fantastic. Okay. So let's talk about, the whole podcast is we've all been through the ringer. We've all had ups and downs and highs and lows. So talk to me about one of your low points and what happened and how you came out of it.
Well, interestingly, that's an interesting question for where I am right now. In April of 2025, in a compressed period of time, life got really loud, and it was like the universe was just going, here you go, try this, here's another test, here's another test, here's another test. I was the marketing consultant for a water rescue device, emergency water rescue device, and then became a partner. And then in April, we discovered a recall necessary. So I had to create, that was my reference earlier. I had to create the process by which this would be most cost effective and work. And 3 weeks after we discovered it, he passed away. And he was the inventor of the device. So now I find myself trying to do a corporate takeover. And then I had to travel at the beginning of May for that business. My sister turns a milestone birthday.
It's an O year.
Yeah. She'll shoot me if I say it, and so I was helping, make that special for her. And then at the end, I also got the opportunity to do a networking or an exhibit at the Sublime Life Sobriety Festival. And that's another whole avenue endeavor that I'm working on as well. And so I'm like, yes, I'm going to take it. So now I'm hustling. And meanwhile, still trying to keep, not trying, still keeping all the other stuff going. Right. Yeah. And then, I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir over here, because I'm sure we've all had, moments like it's like it unloaded. And then I was diagnosed with what's called LADA in, June, July. Oh, and missed it. I did a pop-up event for my 5th anniversary of not consuming alcohol. So I did that on June 16th. So, and then by the end of June, early July, I'm diagnosed with LADA, which is late onset autoimmune diabetes in adults. It's not type 2, it's type 1.
Okay.
And that was the worst 8 weeks of my life.
Yeah.
Just till we got the treatment plan dialed in. So I get choked up when I talk about it, because one of the things that happened during this time was my vision got so blurry I couldn't work. And I felt after a month, I was low, so low. And then also not, I was grieving the loss of carbohydrates. Do you know what I mean? Like I had to start adjusting, so there was loss upon loss and grief upon grief, and hustle upon hustle. And it just, I think part B of your question was, how did I get out of that?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it was a lot. I mean, I watched you go through all this, and it was so much, I'm like, I know she's going to come back. She's going to rise out of it. But man, you did have a lot put at you at the same time. So let's hear the story about that.
Well, one of the things that I encourage, that I had to remind myself, is to surround yourself with people, and don't be afraid to people who support you and care about you, and don't be afraid to ask for help. That was the hardest thing, because I would classify myself hyper independent, professional female, go. And when you get a setback like this, or like all of that, you really have to draw upon the support of others and ask for help. So even that for me made me feel a little down, having to do that. Like I prided myself on, which is silly. It's silly to pride yourself on being able to do everything yourself. It's like, ask for help. It's good that you can, you don't have to, so that was one thing. And then the other thing was a gratitude journal. 100%, no matter what. I did my gratitude journal. And the cool thing is, at the beginning of 2025, I started a jar called Good Things. And once a week, I would write down 3 or more good things, maybe the highlight of the week. And I would make a little scroll, and I'd put it in this thing, and I'd tie it. You know what I mean? And then for the first 4 days up through my birthday, so from December 31st to my birthday on January 4th, I opened some of those scrolls. And what hit me was that I'm going to get choked up again, dang it. But what hit me was that I still found good things during all of that. And when and they were random, because they weren't in order. So I would just shake it up and then toss them. And then I would grab one, Kathi, and I would look at it. And I'm like, oh, wow, I remember that week. And then, some of them were tough, because at the bottom I put, I miss my partner, my business partner, and it was, some of it was tough, but still finding good things through all of it. And it's just an exercise, because, you can let yourself spiral. You can let yourself go. And you know what? Be with it for a minute, but don't stay there.
Right.
Don't stay there. Right. And it's hard. That's why the other people help.
Yeah. And I think gratitude is such an amazing cure. It's really kind of a cure all, if you ask me, because there's always something that you can be grateful for. And just by doing that, you give yourself a little dopamine hit. Dopamine hits make you healthier, make you happier, make you sunnier anyhow. So, it's a win-win. I love that. I didn't realize that that's what you were doing. That's good.
Yes. I did that. I'm sure you did that too. You went through a lot this year as well, or this past year.
Yeah. And gratitude is key. Absolutely. There's always something, no matter what happens, there's always one thing you can think of At
Yep.
least, and oftentimes many, many more. I mean, that's the
Yes.
crazy thing. You're like, oh, and that, and then that, and then that, and then all of a sudden your mood is elevated up. So I think that's a really great advice. If any of you are listening and you're going through something, please pick up paper, start a little jar, whatever, like Shonna does, or start a journal, whatever it is, start thinking about everything that is good in your life. And that will help you get through if you're experiencing anything like that. Yeah.
Yes.
So you've had so many, I don't know, you wear so many hats. Talk to me about a memorable portion of your career, a memorable moment, speaking of gratitude, that makes you smile back and you're like, oh, I will never forget that when that happened.
You know, it's interesting. This is one of the questions that I still have to ask myself because I'm so in gratitude, like we were talking about, that it's like one doesn't just stick out. So
Yeah.
in general, I would say this whole up leveling thing, you know, from a life standpoint, you know, being able to get through that and up level and find good things like we were talking about, that is memorable for me. Like the transformation that has happened. But I will tell you, from a life standpoint, not necessarily a business standpoint, although the business did benefit. And
It's always commingled with us.
it is.
It's just like,
It is totally.
yeah.
But the day I decided to give up alcohol is one of the most memorable moments of my life. I don't want to get into the story because it's a long story. But I thought I was taking a break because I knew I needed a break because I was going through what I now refer to as my dark days. And this was 2020. So while everybody else was becoming a heavier drinkers, I was giving it up in the middle of the pandemic is what I was referring to. So that was a memorable moment. I will never forget that moment.
Yeah, actually not a bad time to quit if you think about it, actually, because you're on your own, less social issues around that.
Yep.
That's interesting. Yeah. Big transition for most of us during that time, but I think that's good. So you've had so many landmarks. I want to talk about the bar because you know what? The non-alcohol bar, you're such a front runner. I remember you talking to me about it like a couple of years ago, and now they're popping up. And
Yes,
more and
they
more
are.
people are not going to bars to not drink. I know my husband goes to bars and doesn't drink.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about your concept, and I can't wait for it to happen.
It's I'm looking, you know, right now I'm in the get the pitch deck together phase because I did the pop-up, which was kind of a proof of concept, you know, and it was amazing. And I had some amazing sponsors. So the concept is that one of the things many people who choose to be alcohol free for whatever reason, doesn't matter. A lot of people are becoming alcohol free just like they're becoming gluten free or dairy free or sugar free or whatever. Right. It's a health thing. It's health and wellness. It doesn't make you feel good after you've had two, you know, or even before. For me, as soon as that first one hit, I was like, I'm a different person. So the concept is one of the things that people miss for whatever reason they choose to be alcohol free is the social aspect of alcohol drinking, of consuming alcohol. You know, people go out to bars or establishments, restaurants, whatever they, you know, do, and it always seems to involve alcohol. And so my concept is I miss shooting pool. I miss throwing darts. I missed playing games with others. I missed trivia nights and DJs and dancing. I missed all of that. So my concept is to create that environment, but no alcohol. And there will be beverages, you know, but they will not contain alcohol. I've already coined a few, like I have the Nojito, the Michelada, the Nargarita, you know, so they actually have these really good, high quality ingredients, you know, and then of course there's, I think the last stat that I saw was that in the last 3 years, non-alcoholic alternatives tripled.
Absolutely.
in revenue. And
Absolutely.
so I really want to do that. And then I want to also expand it. I want it to have like a membership kind of vibe to it where it's
Mhm.
almost exclusive. You have to be, you have to be a member.
Uh-huh.
But, and there'll be, of course, many membership levels. But I also want it to be an event center because the bar is not going to be open 24/7. It's going to
Right.
be open maybe 4 to 10 or 11,
Right,
during,
right.
during the week. So
Yeah.
I'm like, why not use the space for
Mhm.
other
Other
things?
things.
And
Yeah.
then also my podcast studio or my
Of
talk
course.
show studio. So I
Of
kind of
course.
want that all under one umbrella.
I
So
love that. Yeah, I think you're spot on. And I've had a lot of one of my girlfriends is she's gluten-free, intolerant of everything, but she brought over this vodka that was non-alcoholic vodka for our Christmas party. I was like, wow, that's pretty incredible. So yeah, it's coming around for sure. So okay, you get so much done. Talk to me about how do you stay organized? What's your favorite organizing hack?
okay, so yeah, I do have a lot of hats that I wear. So
Yeah.
from a life standpoint, I do work from home a lot. I work remotely. I'm not always in an office environment. So one of the things that I discover is that when you do that, it gets muddy, like life and staying focused on business. So I do two things. One, the Pomodoro effect. I don't know if you
Mhm.
or strategy.
Of
So
course.
I do 25 minutes of focus, 5-minute break, 25 minutes of focus, 5-minute break, etc.
Mhm.
So, and that really keeps me in that environment really dialed in. But the other thing I do is I have what I call my go upstairs, come downstairs basket. So
Ah,
rather than being all over the place, if I know that this is going to need to go upstairs, I just put it in the basket.
yep.
So that way I'm not running. And then when you get upstairs, then you get distracted by something you just saw. And you're like, oh gosh, I have to do that. And then the other thing is there's a lot, but that's one of them. And then purge.
Yeah.
Purge.
Yeah.
Purge your desk, purge your closets, purge
Yeah.
everything at least 2 times a year.
Woo, you're talking I know you're
I
preaching all
know,
the time
because
'cause
you
you're like,
taught me well.
I'm in the garage. Now I'm doing this. Now I'm doing that. I'm like, you go, Shonna. Yay.
Yes, but you taught me well. You taught me well.
Well, add space to your life and you thrive. Well,
I
seriously,
know.
it's
And
very important.
one of the things that I always say to people is like, oh, now I can breathe. When it's
Mhm.
decluttered, when it's purged, when it's organized, when it's in it, it's like I can take a breath.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's a whole thing that
Yeah.
you were instrumental in giving me the skill set to have that happen. So thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. I haven't thought about the basket, the stair basket I used to have one. I just throw things at the top of the bottom of the stairs, Willie, but I do the same thing. But yeah, those little baskets are really cool. I haven't thought about that for a while. I need to get one because my husband's like, I'm going to trip over that stuff on the stairs. I'm like, yeah, but it's going up.
Right, exactly. You feel
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. The basket's awesome. So if you guys haven't ever seen it, check it out. Go on Amazon, look at the stair basket. It's pretty cool. Shaped like a stair, stepped up and everything. Okay. So if you could look back and tell your 18-year-old self, what kind of advice would you give her? Because you've done so much. You're such a trailblazer. What advice would you give her now that you know what you know that you know?
Yeah, exactly. Um, it's gonna sound trite or cliche, but don't give up. Don't give up. Just keep going. I tell myself that every day now. But if I
Mhm.
had to go back to my 18-year-old self, I would tell her, don't give up going for what your dreams are, no matter how old you get. Just keep going. Go for those dreams, recontemplate everything, but do give up the peer pressure to consume alcohol.
There you go.
Because
There,
what if I bucked against that trend back at 18 years old? I think I would be a little bit further along in some of my certain endeavors that I'm pursuing. So that's the advice that I would give.
Okay, that's great advice. What have we not talked about what is there anything that you really wanted to talk about during this? Because
I
gosh,
think,
we could go on and on forever.
we totally could. Absolutely, 100%. You know, I was on another show the other day, and one of the questions they did ask me was, what's the biggest mistake that you see people make in networking? Because we were
That's
focused
a
a lot on,
good.
so what I would say to that is, once is not enough.
Yeah.
You can't just show up one time, collect business cards, add them to your email list, and never show up again. First of all, that's not a good business practice. But once is not enough. Consistency is key in anything that you do, in business or in life. Consistency is key. Now, if it's not a good fit, that's different. If you didn't get a vibe, but still, once is not enough. Try it at 2 to 3 times, at least. I would say 3 times to do that. And then if you come and you say, well, it's not working, like you enjoy it, but it's not working, then you need to have a conversation with me, because there's something that's not working for you specifically, because it's working for other people. So let's talk about that. Do you know what I mean? Let's overcome that challenge together.
Yeah. That's a great tip. What other marketing tip would you have? We should have been talking about that a little bit more, as you're such a genius at it.
Okay. So another thing, and I'm going to just tie it all together, because I've produced large business events with vendor tables and sponsors and stage entertainment, food. I've done all of that. Again, attention to detail. But then I have the monthly meetings, which I still approach them the exact same way. So one of the things that a lot of people also tell me doesn't work is exhibiting, or taking a table at an expo or a networking event. It just doesn't work. And I say, well, why? What did you go into it expecting? Well, I didn't make one sale. I'm like, okay, right there is the ish, because your goal was to generate income immediately at that table. And that's gravy. If that happens, that's gravy. What you need to be generating are leads. And then the gold is in the follow-up. Right. And I have strategies that I use when I'm, coaching people to do their exhibit marketing and how to make the most of it. But one of them, just real quickly, is when somebody hands you their business card or gives you their contact information after a 20 to 30 second conversation, because you don't want to get drawn into long conversations, right? But after a 20 to 30 second conversation, if this is a qualified lead. And if they ask you a question and it's hot, or they're kind of like, oh yes, I've been wanting to blah, blah, blah. Note it. Guess
on the card.
On the card.
On the card.
On the card. Note it on the card, or if they give you digital, note it in the digital that they just gave you, because those are the ones you're going to follow up with first.
Yeah.
They're going to get a special follow-up, not the bulk follow-up.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
So and that's the other one. That's a nice tip that I like to tell people. So.
That's a really great tip. And someone else that I was interviewing a few weeks ago, she said, yeah, and then just do a quick little video and say, hey, I met you at GOG, and I know that you ask about this, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's all you have to do.
That's an interesting follow-up. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You're talking about follow-up, right?
I'm sorry?
I said you're talking about as follow-up.
Yeah, as follow-up. Yeah. Quick little video. Hi, I met you at GOG. I know you really were interested in blah, blah, blah. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to talk to you or whatever.
I love it.
But yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I thought, she says, I spin them out. I spin out 30 in like 30 minutes to people that I just, when I go and I have these cards, I just spin them out and say, hey, Ginny, nice to see you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of smart.
That's great.
Yeah.
Does she send the video through then? Now I'm learning, right? So
email.
She emails the video. Okay.
She emails it. Yep.
So I was like, does she post it? Does she like on her website, and then they have to click through,
She did.
That's awesome.
She emails the video straight to them. They get it right away, like literally. And then this other guy, he does it within 30 minutes of meeting someone. He does it, and he has this card that has that puts her name on it, like a board.
Uh-huh.
So it says Christine, and it's like, hey, Christine. And then he whitewashes it and puts, hey, Ed. I'm like, okay, yeah, just anything
That's
to
cool.
personalize. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes. I
Interesting.
love those ideas.
Yeah. Just, it's fun doing podcasts. And I know you have a talk show coming out
Yes.
and coming up. So do you want to talk about that, or do you want to talk about your book? Anything last minute?
Pardon me. I'll talk. The book is kind of on. I pushed pause. I did it, and then I started that in the promotion in January, and then it got delayed and got delayed, and then all the things happened that we talked about earlier, and so then I did the book launch, and it's kind of pushed pause for now.
It's a fantastic book, by the way. Anyhow, I love it.
Thank you,
So,
thank
yeah.
you. A children's book for adults.
And she did all the artwork, and it's very poetic, and it's just really deep message that anybody can read and everybody can understand.
Yes, and it's got several underlying themes. But from the talk show standpoint, it's similar to what we're doing here. Why I call it a talk show is because it's going to be in real life. It is not going to be on Zoom. Podcasts, Zoom, Spotify, like you're doing. I love it. They're great. But I'm a nose to nose, belly button to belly button kind of girl. You know what I mean? I want to be able to laugh and then like reach over and be like fist bump and, do all of those things in real life. So but it also has a talk show format. So it'll, be an intro, and then we'll, intro the guest, and then the guest will come on with music playing, and, and then we'll play a game. And I like to joke that, if you can imagine the Ellen DeGeneres daytime talk show and the Jimmy Fallon late night talk show, if those two shows had a baby, that's my show.
I love it. Looking forward to it. That's awesome. Okay. Now I know that you have a website and you have free valuable resource that you can offer. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure. ShonnaJordan.com. On there, it, gives you a little information and asks you a couple questions. Are you here because you have a pressing marketing question? Are you, do you have a strategy? Are you trying to figure out if your strategies are working? What about your networking? That type of thing. So you're there for a reason, right? But I'm giving away 20-minute free direct access to me, right? It's with me. And and you can book straight online. Doesn't cost you a dime. And I call it the no obligation or no cost, no strings. No cost, no strings. Seriously. If it's not a good fit, we're good. If it is and you're interested, great. But you will get what I call freebies in that 20 minutes.
Which is a lot of juice, kids. Anybody finds that link, just do it. Because I don't know how long she'll actually keep this for free. So join in and ask her, you're going to get some downloads and you're going to have something you can walk away with that you can use. So that's huge. Thanks, Shonna. I appreciate that.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. In closing, I feel pretty complete. Do you feel like there's anything that we missed?
No, I feel really complete.
Yay! I'm so happy to have you on the show finally.
I know. I am too. I am too, Kathi. Thank you for being pleasantly persistent with me.
Oh, absolutely. I knew it would be a good show. So for those of you who have tuned in, make sure to go to the link, go to the website and take Shonna up on that 20 minutes, because you're going to come away with something you can use for your marketing. Guaranteed. Always happens with her. That's just how she is. And until next week, you guys have fun, stay organized, stay energized, and learn how to market and show up at networking events with more ease, more grace, and remember, be consistent. So until then, we'll see you then. Hey, thanks for listening to this podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you want to hear more, feel free to subscribe on the platform of your choice. Also, if you feel so inclined, I would truly appreciate a good rating from you to me. Have a stellar day.